Afton Robotics. Date, 8th August, 1984. Speaker, Bill. I'm recording this in hopes of, perhaps, unlocking the secrets of this project by means of reflection. So far, the exact mechanics of Remnant have eluded me, even if I've known going on a full year that it exists. In my spare time, I'll record these, and if you're hearing this, you're either me, or you shouldn't be. Note, Michael, that I'll know if you've found this. I've been partly successful in isolating Remnant. Parts of Fredbear's costume are easy enough to sneak out of the facility, but I dare not risk the suit's integrity by taking too much. Tragic that my own child would be the only successful test subject. If you could call that a success. Truth be told, I'm not sure I can do anything else for him. With the small parts of Fredbear I've experimented with, I've attempted multiple experiments on Flora. I'll read a few of my logs. Flora test number 1, 4th June, 1984. Details: associated spring locks buried in the soil of a potted sunflower, left with no water or natural light for 5 nights. Repeated 4 times. Results: flower died within 48 hours. Results the same across the board. Flora test number 2, 11th June, 1984. Details: associated spring locks buried in the soil of a potted sunflower, left with no natural light, but watered regularly for 5 nights. Repeated 4 times. Results: flowers A, B, and E all died after 4 nights. Flower C lasted an additional night. Flower D remains alive as of test conclusion. I didn't write this down, but that flower remains alive as of my recording this. I'm staring right at it. Funny, I'd forgotten I had it. I should really take the lock out of that pot. Flora test number 3, 17th June, 1984. Details: portion of 2 spring locks, melted down, injected while molten into the soil of a potted sunflower. Results: heat immediately spread to the roots, hardening soil and contaminating it with traces of metal. The flower was dead almost immediately. Experiment abandoned. Flora test number 4, 18th June, 1984. Details: portion of 2 spring locks, melted and molded into a new shape, buried in the soil of potted sunflower. Results: flowers lived for 2 weeks with no sustenance. Experiment repeated with 2 new blocks of remnant-laden metal, to no avail. That's enough of that. I'm not sure what the problem is. July was a complete failure of a month. Absolutely no successes. The florist must think I'm mad. August, 1984. Speaker, Bill. So far, use of the uncharged spring locks hasn't made the mangle any more or less lively. I've been careful to use only the ones that failed the Flora tests, so that was the expectation. I can't believe Henry thought this was worth putting in the restaurant. The craftsmanship is shoddy at best. We've always worked best with 2 animatronics. We don't need a fox or a bird, and certainly not a wolf, or whatever this thing is. At times it looks like Henry copied his homework from Foxy. Our dear Mr. Emily knows nothing of these experiments. The poor bastard couldn't even suss out what happened to his darling daughter. What was her name? Charlie. Not the best name for a girl, but anyhow. My hope is to begin fauna testing in the next several weeks. I've set a trap in the woods, but not just any animal will do. A rabbit, or maybe a cat, will be best. I want intelligent things, not just any random squirrel that crawls up the wrong mental arse. Currently, I'm under the impression that the reason I have so many uncharged spring locks relates to the number that were in contact with, well, you know. A child's neck isn't the broadest surface. My hope is to get as many in contact with the corpse as I can, so that I can test my hypothesis. At this point, I've taken so many from old Fred that he can't even stay upright. One more, and I'm not sure his jaw will close anymore. Date, 6th September, 1984. How I love dogs. Good things come to those who wait. 1984. The mangle smells of shit, but honestly, it's gotten far more bearable. His articulation is awkward and stilted, likely to do with the odd position the corpse was in when it got entangled in the locks. But this is easily my greatest success so far. There's only one small wrinkle in all this. I can't keep him in the garage anymore. Bella's been coming back too often, and if this keeps up, I might risk being found out. I'm moving the animatronic to the restaurant tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe I'll see the snot-nosed brat that let that dog loose. Details. Subject terminated via incision in the neck. Body placed against and tied along the joints of an animatronic endoskeleton. Model HEWA 4.3. Test repeated 3 times. Results. Creation of the largest quantity of remnants so far. Completely inaccessible behind a mask I refuse to damage. Are you happy, Michael? You killed my son, and your mistake made me kill my Liz. I will replicate my success, and I'll make him pay. If I'm damned to live with him, then he is damned to live with me. Door's locked. I cannot escape. I'm trapped. Results. I can still speak, though that privilege may not last. I failed you, Liz, but you are still there. I know it. Do Daddy a favor, won't you? When Michael comes looking for you, could you drag him to hell for me? I want him to see